So the first rule was that it has to be horizontal suvat or vertical suvat, never mix them. The question says write down the horizontal displacement equation and write down the vertical displacement equation. So let's start with horizontal. So horizontal. So S is what we're going to work out. U is either 40 cos 50 or 40 sine 50. So it's 40 cos 50 because it's between, yeah. You should know that acceleration is 0 horizontally. So the final velocity would never be any different to the initial velocity. And T is just T because it's the general equation at T. So S equals UT plus a half AT squared. I picked that because that's the equation without
V.
No.
yeah, with to be honest, it doesn't actually matter.
Without A.
Yeah.
Oh, no, with
Without
A, yeah.
V's. But in horizontal, you can also just remember that this part doesn't matter. So speed equals distance divided by time. Distance equals speed times time. So S equals 40 cos 50 times by T, 40T cos 50. Now repeat the same exact process for vertical, just to get the other equation.
S 40 sine 50 T plus a half 9.8 T squared.
Yeah. So just quickly going step by step. U is either 40 cos 50 or 40 sine 50. We write down. So it's 40 sine 50. V we don't know because it will keep on changing. And the acceleration is minus 9.8. But just always check the question to make sure it's not 10 or something. And then T is just T. So S equals UT plus a half AT squared. Whenever it's a displacement, you just generally use that equation. So S equals 40T sine 50 minus 4.9 T squared. That's using S equals UT plus half AT squared. Okay. Part B says, work out the time to get from A to D. And then we'll look at the range after. So the time to get from A to D, what's special about the point D that we can use inside the suvats? There are two things. We know that it's this distance, but we don't know that distance, right? So we can't use that. But we know the vertical distance from A to D is 0. It goes up, back down, so the displacement is 0. So we use S in the Y thing, in the vertical, S vertical is 0. So we use the same equation we had before. No,
For time.
we need,
We arrange for T. So T is equal to
Yeah.
40 sine 50 over 4.9.
so we can put,
Quadratic now.
yeah, we can put 0 in here, okay? Pretend I wrote it again. I would always write it again for each question, but 0 there for the vertical, and then work out T. So that's the equation without V. So that's S equals UT plus half AT squared again. 0 equals 40T. I'm just going to be lazy and just put it there. And then factorize, okay? So T bracket 40 sine 50 minus 4.9 T equals 0. So then T equals 0. That was at the start. And then we should get something here. So this one is telling us that 40 sine 50 minus 4.9 T equals 0. So make that equal to 4.9 T and divide by 4.9. Or use your calculator to solve the quadratic. But all this is not that important. The really important bit is to know that A to D is when the vertical displacement is 0. That's the key fact. And the rest of it is just suvats. Then it says calculate the range. The range is the distance from A to D. So it's the
Displacement in X.
the displacement in X, exactly. So now we use this and we plug in our time of we just use our answer 6.253. So even if you haven't got that, you can still work out the next part of the question. Just S equals UT. So 40 cos 50 times 6.253. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
160.784.
It's fine. Then part 3, calculate the time taken to reach B. So now it starts to get more complicated. So we have to look at B and think what's special about B. Okay. Oh, so it tells us that X is 30. So then we just do the same thing we did before.
But X is the distance from A
But
to B.
exactly.
We're
So
talking about A to C.
the horizontal distance is going to be 30. Right? That's 30.
Hmm.
So to get from A to B, remember, it's never about actual A to B. It's either about the vertical of A to B or the horizontal of A to B. So we know the horizontal from A to B is 30. Yeah. Was that what you were stuck on?
No. So it says from A to B, then calculate from B to C. So from
okay.
A to C, and that's
Okay.
what I was simple.
Okay, cool. So let's do the same S equals UT, but using 30. We just write all this out.
I was thinking because they both have the same vertical displacement, if I plug in the distance in vertical, I'll get 2 answers for time, maybe.
Mhm.
And then one of them will be the right one. So you get a quadratic. But then I forgot to plug that into the equation again to find S.
Let's try and work out T. So we'll use the equation without U or without V, because otherwise there's too many of the same. So we'll do S equals UT again. So T equals S over U, which is 30 divided by 40 cos 50. Okay.
Oh,
1.174 the time. Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool. Hence, work out the time taken to travel from A to C. So if it took 1.17 seconds to get from A to C,
to B.
oh yeah, A to B. So what do we know about C? So we either have to
We
say
know the X is the same. No, we know the Y is the
the
same.
Y is the
Yeah.
same, exactly. So let's do a vertical to that. T is the question mark. A is minus 9.8. U is 40 sine 50. We either need V or S. We won't know V. We might know S. Okay. So there's 2 ways to do this. I just realized the hence, which means that there must have been clues before. So I just realized that it took 6.253 seconds for the whole journey, 1.17 seconds for this part. So maybe we can work out the time for this part from B to D. Right?
Yeah.
So B to D must have been 6.253 minus 1.17. 5.086. And whatever happened from A to D would also have been the same from A to C, because it's a projectile is a quadratic, and a quadratic is always symmetrical. Okay. But that wasn't that easy to spot. I was going to do a suvat. Okay, so that would have been a waste of time. I just realized this. But you can do a suvat. What you have to do is you have to work out so plug in 1.17 as the time. And then get the vertical displacement of this. Okay, so you might get like 2 meters high, for example. Then cross this out and work out the time again, and you'll get 2 answers
C.
for T.
Yeah, but it will be for C this time, isn't it?
Exactly. One of the answers will be the same answer, the 30, and another answer will be, sorry, like for example, that made up 2. One of them will be 2, and then one of them will be
1.175.
No, it'd be 4.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about time. Yeah, sorry. It'll be 1.17 and then another like 5.086.
Hmm.
Yeah?
Hmm.
Okay, good.
That's
And the last question, the direction of motion at C, 5 marks as well. To work out the direction the ball, the stone is traveling at, you need the V, not the initial velocity, the final velocity at that particular point that you care about. The horizontal, you know how the initial velocity is 40 cos 50? The final velocity at any point is always 40 cos 50, right? Because there's no acceleration. We have to work out the vertical, same thing, right? So S equals U equals V equals A equals T equals. And we had, was it 5.17?
No, it's 5.08, I'm pretty sure.
Where do you have the marks in?
Yeah.
So 5.086. So we have to work out the V at that time, which is at C. So the equation without S, so V equals U plus AT, which is 40 sine 50, minus 5.086 times 9.8. Which is minus 19.2. And that sounds sensible because it should be going down. Then you just do a triangle. So it's going 40 cos 50 that way and 19.2 that way. And then just join the triangle up and work out this angle. Okay, so opposite, adjacent. So theta equals tan minus 1. We're using TOA, yeah? Fine with that?
yeah.
So 19.2 divided by 40 cos 50. And then you can just say that that angle, whatever angle you get, below horizontal. Okay. Cool. So for question 2, we've got 15 meters per second in the horizontal and 20 in the vertical. So it's easier than the last one. We don't need to do the cos or sine. The question says work out the initial speed. So that's just the Pythagoras of the two numbers. So 15 squared plus 20 squared. Yeah. Which is 25.
Once you've written. Yeah.
Yep. And then work out the flight time and the range. So we already talked about how to work out the range and the flight time. So what's the condition for the flight, for the overall time? The range?
Oh, the range would be the horizontal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but what do you solve?
So for S,
How do you solve the flight time? The time until it lands? What's special about the point it lands?
Is Y 0?
why is that?
The vertical displacement is 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do a vertical CVAT. So S is 0 because it's when it lands. It's the overall flight time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then U is
15?
15.
You don't know P.
Good. And we picked the equation without V. So that's S equals UT plus half AT squared. So 4.9 T squared minus 15 T equals 0. Use your calculator or factorize. So T 4.9 T minus 15 equals 0. T equals 0. T equals 15 over 4.9, which is 3. Okay. Then work out the range. So the range is the horizontal at that particular time. So now we do a horizontal, see that? Yeah, it was like 2 point something.
No, it's
3.1, yeah, that's fine. So now we do a horizontal, see that? At that time that we got, right?
Mm.
So the horizontal speed is 15. Wait,
20.
no, we messed up before. You gave me the wrong speed. It was 20 before.
No.
So 20 over 4.9, so that's 4. And then this one, 15 in the horizontal. 15 again for V. Acceleration is 0. And T is 4, which is what we got before.
Mm.
So S equals UT, which is 15 times 4, which is 60.
Mm.
Okay. So the range is when the journey is complete, the horizontal distance. But we can, even if it didn't say to work out the flight time, you would have still had to work out the flight time,
Mm.
which is when the vertical displacement is 0. Show the range is the same if the components are 20 in the horizontal and 15 in the vertical row. So
Mm.
we mixed up by accident, but you actually have to mix them up again and do the same thing.
Mm.
So why is it 1 mark? So it must be quite a quick question. We'd work out the same thing. So T would equal, so T would be 4.9 T minus 15 because we already made the mistake, so we know. So then T would be 3, right?
Mm.
Instead of 4. And then you plug
It'll be 20 times 3 this time.
15. Oh yeah, now it'd be 20 times 3, which is 60. But I don't know what kind of question that is. I wouldn't even worry about that. But obviously you should know how to do it, but I don't know why it's 1 mark and just
Mm.
randomly thrown in. I'm gonna skip part B. Question 3, calculate the speed. So what do you do for that one? We did it before.
Speed equals distance over time.
Oh no, we did it here, remember? Find out the initial speed. What did we do?
Pythagoras.
Yeah, Pythagoras. So square root
12 times 10.
10 squared plus whole squared.
Yeah.
So root 244.
True 61 or 15.62.
I'll leave it like that for now, but okay, 15.62. Okay. And the angle, you just do Pythagoras. So I mean Sokotoa. So 10, 12, and work out that angle. Okay. Or you can do 12, 10 and work out that angle. It doesn't actually matter. Does that make sense? So 12, 10 and work out that. But you want the angle from horizontal, which is easier. So do the other one. So I just joined them one after the other rather than how they did it. So 10 and 12 and get the angle. Opposite, adjacent. So theta equals tan minus 1. 12 over 10. Can you work that out? 1.2. Inverse tan 1.2. Is that okay?
50.19.
Cool. So 50.2 is fine. Okay. Luckily we won't need it. So if you can't get that right, you can just carry on because they've given us the 10 and the 12. But normally, depends on the question, sometimes you have to work that out. Show that t seconds after projection, the height. So it's asking about the vertical displacement. So vertical. T is t because it's at t seconds. U is 12. A is minus 9.8. and V is, we don't know. S equals UT plus a half AT squared. So 12T minus, I'm going to change that to minus 10 because I think that's what they've done. But if not, just change it. UT plus a half AT squared. So minus 5T squared. That would be the suva of like how much up and down it's traveled from the beginning. But it starts for 9 meters off the ground.
She had 9.
So we worked out S. So then the height equals S plus 9. Yeah. So that 12T minus 5T squared plus 9. But also I wouldn't have known that, but because it's to show that you can just do the question and then kind of almost cheat by looking at the answer and figuring out why they have that. Work out the maximum, write down an expression for the horizontal. Just do the same thing. Just do S equals UT now. So S equals 10T. That's literally it. Okay. Cool. Part 3, work out the maximum height. What's special about maximum height? What would we use in terms of the suva?
Vertical. No.
Yeah,
It equals 0.
Which one?
Horizontal. No, vertical.
Horizontal what? I mean, sorry, vertical what?
Speed. No. Find
Yeah.
velocity at 0.
yeah.
So we do a vertical suva for maximum height. These are all basically definitions. Yeah. So maximum height is when, because it's about to change direction vertically, not horizontally. Horizontal is always the same. Vertical is going to change direction. So the V would be 0 for a split second before it changes from positive to negative. So that's 12. And we do it without T. So V squared equals U squared plus 2AS. So S equals V squared minus U squared over 2A. So that is 144 over 20, which is 72. No, 7.2.
Yeah.
But the main thing again is the definition of the answer. The fact that maximum height is when V equals 0 in the vertical suvat. Okay. Always check which suvat you're using. And then lastly, the distance. Oh, wait, no. The maximum height is 7.2 plus
Plus 9.
9. Okay. So 16.2.
No, wait, but it's talking about above the point of projection. The point
Oh,
of
then
projection
leave
is
it.
P.
Oh, then you don't do it. But stuff like that, I'm kind of rushing right now.
Yeah.
But just always double check that stuff.
Mhm.
Cool. Distance OX, what's special about the point X?
It's when
Y is 0. Y is negative 9.
Normally when Y is 0, in
Negative
this
9.
case when Y is negative 9. So you do vertical suva and then get the time and then do a
Horizontal suva.
with that time.
Time.
Yeah.
And you'll find S.
Cool. So I can put this as minus 9. I don't need to change that, so I'm not going to rub it out. I'll remove that. We have to work out T, so we pick the equation without V.
Just equal to UT plus half AT squared.
Exactly. Do a quadratic with minus 9 equals UT, so 12T minus 5T squared. So 5T squared minus 12T minus 9 equals 0. You should get 2 answers for T.
Three and minus 3 over 5.
Okay, cool. So then we do a horizontal suva. And it's negative because it would have also been on the ground supposedly before if we're modeling it as if it was a quadratic. Remember, we're modeling a ball thrown as a quadratic. So we have that time 3. We have 10. 10, 10, 0. And we have to work out this. So S equals UT. So that's just 30 meters. 10 times 3. Good. So For this question, the first part says it doesn't show that it doesn't hit the pigeon.
Yeah.
So that's the line, the pigeon is on the line y equals 4.
Mm.
So if we work out the horizontal displacement of the projectile, so horizontal, we have S equals, wait, I meant vertical. If we do the vertical,
Mm.
we have S equals 4 basically. We have U equals,
Eight.
yep, because it's shown here.
Vertical direction. Velocity we don't know. Minus 1.8 and T is what we're looking for.
So our equation for S is
T.
8t ut plus a half at squared.
Mm.
So it's 8t minus 4.9 t squared. And we want to basically equate it to 4 and see if it ever goes that high at any point. So we can make that a quadratic 4.9 t squared minus 8t plus 4 equals 0. And if there's no solutions, there's different ways to do this question. Okay. But the best way is just to show that. Yeah, I mean, you can even differentiate it and try to work out the maximum point, but just show the discriminant is
Yeah.
negative. So there's no roots.
Wait, sorry, repeat that again. So if you differentiate it.
But then you have to work out the maximum point. Yeah, you can differentiate it and work out the maximum point. So for
if
example,
it's not equal to 0, dy dx is not equal to 0.
no, I'll show you. So if you
Mm.
differentiate it, you get 9.8.
Yeah.
So ds by dt is 9.8t minus 8.
Yeah.
Make it equal to 0. So t equals 8 over 9.8. Then sub that answer back into the original equation. So S equals 4.9, 8 divided by 9.8 squared minus 8, 8 divided by 9.8
Yeah.
plus 4. What do you get? Quite cool. So the question says, show that the stone does not reach the height of the pigeon. We know the height of the pigeon is 4.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is to work out the actual maximum height because it's implying that it's less than 4.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a vertical suvat where we need to work out S basically, the maximum. U is given as 8.
Wait, where does it say it's saying it's
It
less
says
than-
show that the stone does not reach the height of the
Oh,
pigeon.
okay.
So it doesn't get that high in the first place.
So okay, yeah.
So
makes
maybe
sense,
it goes like
yeah.
that.
But this is telling us 4 is the maximum height, innit?
No, it's asking. This is
Yeah.
it's just asking you to apply your knowledge. It's saying, is the maximum height 4? The 4 is not. That's what the
Okay.
question is asking.
That's fine.
V at the maximum height is 0. Acceleration is minus 9.8 because we're taking up as positive, and we don't know t. Okay, so we pick the equation without t, which is v squared equals u squared plus 2s. And we solve for s.
Well,
So
you
we
know
get-
what to do that, yeah? You just need 3, like, what's it called?
Yeah, 3, and you need to work out 1. Yeah.
Okay. You need
So
at least
s
3.
equals 0 squared minus 8 squared divided by 2 times minus 9.8. So that's 64, minus 64 divided by minus 19.6, which is about 3 point something. Can you double check? It's 3.265.
Minus 64, yeah?
Yep.
Oh,
3.265 is less than 4, so it doesn't reach the height of the
Okay.
pigeon.
oh.
The alternative method is not to put this as 0, instead put this as 4 and work out the discriminant and show that there's no solutions, but that's a bit more confusing.
Now,
So we have to determine whether the stone hits the window, but it's indirectly asking what is the height of the projectile at 22.5 meters down the line. So we can do a horizontal suvat first to get the time, and then we can do a vertical suvat after. So let's finish it off together. So
Mhm.
vertical, I would start with that SUVAT minus 9.8. We don't know T, we don't know V.
Mm.
U is 8 and S is what we want to work out the height of it basically.
Yeah.
But if we don't know anything, that's when we realize. So it's not like I automatically knew you have to do horizontal and vertical.
Yeah.
You do that. And when you need the time, you can use horizontal.
Yeah.
So horizontal is S, U, and T. So
Right, okay. Oh, yeah, it's
22.5.
there's no acceleration horizontally, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the velocity is 15. Okay.
Mm. Wait, why does the final velocity get cancelled out with the
It's
acceleration?
fine. It's just 15 as well. You can use either.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Oh, yeah.
So S equals UT
Mm.
plus a half AT squared.
Yeah.
So T equals 22.5 divided by 15, which is 1.5.
Mm.
We can use that 1.5 here and work out S. Okay.
Just a quick question.
Yep.
So you know how both the velocities, when it's horizontal velocities, the initial velocity and the final velocity is the same, right?
Yeah.
But for when it's vertical,
It's different.
why is
And
that again?
because the velocity is always changing. When you throw something upwards, it's always changing. It's slowing down and speeding up based on gravity.
And the velocity when it's moving like that.
It's always the same.
Oh, unless you accelerate, but there's no acceleration horizontally. Oh, makes sense. Yeah.
So we have S equals UT plus a half AT squared. We just do that straight away. So S equals 8 times 1.5 plus 0.5 times minus 9.8
T
times
squared.
1.5
Yeah,
squared.
yeah.
Solve that and we check the height. What kind of height are we expecting an answer of?
Is it four? No, wait, it's not. Wait. Oh, that height.
Something around either 0.8 or 2 or 3 or something like that. Just because then it's sensible, isn't it? It's asking, does it hit the window, which is 0.8 meters high?
Wait, isn't it 0.8 plus 1.2? Is it 3 meters high?
Yeah, between 0.8 to 3 meters. We're expecting a height between 0.8 meters
And
until 3
1.2
meters.
meters. Oh, and 3
Yeah,
meters.
exactly. So what's the answer?
Oh, yeah.
So you do 8 times 1.5 plus so we get 0.975. So 0.975 is between the gap of the window. So
Mm.
yes, it does.
Mm.